Making a video. Yeah, boy, it's a big day of videos. So anyway, that's mostly the purpose of this video. I will do a little Hythloday later for fun, based on the Draft Science channel. So there's a video there, an hour and a half of 20 minutes of a rational conversation with Hythloday, and then 20 minutes of crap, and then a half hour of me. But it's an interesting video. I found it watchable. And then I did an hour and a half of free will videos with George Ortega, and so those were pretty good, I think. I think I was just on today. Brain was working fairly well. So, just letting you know, I think it's some pretty good stuff. So if you got the time to watch some of that stuff, some of it's pretty good. The podcast will be on the, whatever, the indexy thing that people don't pay much attention to, but I think it's all very useful. I think this page is incredibly useful. Well, that's just me. But this is the free will index of the MP3s, and so that's kind of a nice thing to have. Anyway, so I'll post a link to the unfree will website-y thing that I have made, and post a link to the Draft Science video, and watch what you want. But some of it's entertaining, I think, and some of it's informative and well argued and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's about it for the announcements of the day. So off to Hythloday. I mean, not much else happening. It really is. I'm like the only one left on YouTube, I think. That's rational anyway. The rest are just silly people, Buddhists and whatnot. But anyway, so let's do this Hythloday thing. Can barely hear him, so we got to fix that first. Volume. I need more volume, please. Give me more volume, computer. Thank you, computer.
I wondered whether to make this video or not. I wondered whether to just leave it or
with another video playing in the background or something. But anyway, there's no, look, I don't, I don't like your philosophy. I don't, I mean, it's nothing personal, but yeah, I don't get this crap. I don't get atheists who aren't atheists, agnostic atheists. I don't get that. I don't get people who, seem to have a discipline for this idea of logic and, fitting puzzle pieces together and stuff, and, but they all do it based on reputation or something. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not a professor at a university, therefore, I'm going to be held at a different standard. Well, why should it matter where I'm from? Why should any of that, shouldn't it be the argument that matters? I think I'm making a good argument in defense of physics taking a wrong turn. I mean, I think the argument's so easy to make just because it's hard to imagine how much they have piled on this stupid two-slit experiment. I mean, they have piled a whole bunch of physics on top of this really buggy experiment. Anyway.
Inmendham, I was firmly in my mind not wishing to pick an argument with you.
I didn't even worry about it. I guess it's somebody else talking on the phone in the background. Look, whatever. I wasn't. I didn't even think about it. To tell you the truth, I just said, okay, look, we're going to talk a little bit of physics. No big deal. And but again, I just, this idea that I have to. I don't even know. Like I said, I replayed the video, and I just still don't get exactly what you were bitching about. I mean, you did make the point about Spandowski says that the history of punctuated evolution is that it was terribly controversial and nobody accepted it. Well, fine, that's his interpretation of history. I'm saying fine. It's not my interpretation. It just seemed to me, I just made it kind of clear. Okay, fine, that's your thing. I don't go for it. I don't give a fuck what he says the history is. It seems silly to me. And then you just decided, now I all of a sudden can't talk anymore. Because something you said it's vital. I have to now somehow not And like I said, I don't even see what the point of saying there was an interruption. I heard your point. I didn't respond to some point you didn't make. I responded to the point you did make. So what the hell are you bitching about? Oh, sorry, but I mean, just frankly, I don't get it. I don't.
And try to avoid the descent into acrimony, which did ultimately ensue, like it did last time.
Well, yeah, I guess, look, when somebody starts with this crap that I'm not allowed to interrupt or I'm not allowed to spare myself having to listen to something I already know where we're going, yeah, the minute somebody bitches about that, I'm just going to say, okay, I hear your bitch. Go ahead, you have the floor. I'll let you do your shit, but I'm still going to cut it to pieces, and I'm going to cut it to pieces even more brutally because now you're just pissed me off by saying I don't know how to apply reasonable judgment to whether or not you're on a subject that goddamn is relevant. I pretty much told you. You said Spenskowski's name. I said, I don't even care for that guy. I even gave you the indication. Well, guess what? I'm not going to give a fuck what that asshole has to say because I've heard him, and he's a douchebag. So what the fuck? I gave you every indication that I really don't give a rat's ass, and you still decided you're going to talk about it.
I was optimistic, given a pleasant conversation discussing the educational system the other night. There are many aspects in which I'm sympathetic to your opinions, but that doesn't mean I'm going to...
Okay, so let's understand. Again, I don't even care if you're sympathetic. I'm saying rationally, I think you have to be sympathetic in the sense because no one's making a hard counter argument. And what I'm saying is until somebody does make a hard counter argument, I'm really not interested in dealing with 9 million nitpicks. And frankly, that's all you've been doing. You nitpicked about the kinetic energy thing. I talked about photons having a shape because of polarization, and then you wanted to know what shape they were. And I'm like, what the fuck's it matter what shape they are? We just know they have a shape, okay? Who cares whether they're triangles or fucking they look like tambourines? Who cares? So I'm just saying, why? What? I'm going to waste my time figuring out what shape photons are? No, I'm not going to waste my time doing that. I'm just going to say we all agree that polarization exists, so let's just throw that one on the already figured out category, and let's move on to something that might make a difference.
blow smoke up your ass, so to speak. You can't expect that.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a bullshit accusation. There's absolutely nothing about my demeanor or my attitude looking for you to blow any fucking smoke. What I was asking you to do was throw something real at me, and you kept throwing nitpicks at me. Oh, punctuated equilibrium wasn't really an accepted theory. It's not intuitive at all, says Spangalski. Well, again, fuck that. That's not a fucking argument. I mean, really, you're telling me I have to have a theory that fits in your category of a legitimate theory. I gave you an example of a legitimately explanatory theory, punctuated equilibrium, that needed nothing. It needed no evidence. It was on its face so fucking explanatory that without even any evidence, it made sense. Anyway.
Know that. For my part, for the purposes of avoiding the descent into bitterness, I wanted to bring up the terms of where we see eye to eye, and where
Oh man, now you're really running slow. Sorry, look, you're allowed to be reflective, so I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying. Look, I'm either looking for enemies or allies. I'm looking for somebody who wants to do some thinking and see if they can help make things fit. You know, do a little bit of, hey, you know what? I got a point there. I'm going to do some research on that. I'm going to do the bit. I'm looking for an ally, or I'm looking for a hard enemy. I want somebody. I want somebody who's going to help me make swords, or I want somebody who's going to help me use swords. But no, I want somebody coming at me with swords, or I want somebody helping making me shields. Okay, maybe that's a better metaphor. But I don't got any interest in whatever this other shit is in between. I don't have time to talk to some guy on a fence over there who's not in the war. I'm in a fight. All right, and yeah, I just don't see it. It's not. It just doesn't do me any good to get into a conversation about washing dishes with somebody in the middle of my fucking goddamn defense of my theory. And I just saying that you just want to distract me from the conversation of the real meat of it, which is, yeah, look, this fits all of these things. That's kind of significant. Fuck. Anyway, whatever.
I was going to say appropriate, but that's not. Where context and situation dictates. Also, for my own self-respect, mention that I have disagreements in this area. For me, the lengths at which you spoke in a ratio to which I spoke, it seemed.
Yeah, go ahead and measure the time. Go ahead and measure the time and do it in the context of I'm the one who has to explain the theory. So I have to keep re-explaining the theory. So, you know, I take out the part where I'm talking about exactly how the theory works that I'm defending and just use the defense parts. And you'll find out that, yeah, most of the time I'm talking, I'm just explaining theory. I'm not sitting there and arguing defensive theory. And there is a difference. But whatever. I'm just saying this gripe that somehow... in a conversation where I'm defending a theory, you're supposed to have equal time when you're not throwing hardballs. Again, you weren't throwing any accusations at the theory. You're just throwing accusations again at the messenger. Somehow I haven't qualified things because I don't have competing bullshit math. And I'm going to start working on some lie math, okay? I'm going to engineer, the two-slit experiment's pretty obvious. I'm just going to engineer some fucking bullshit math, okay, that just uses field lines. All right, and the field lines establish how much deflection there is. And I'm going to come up with exactly the same fucking pattern, and it's just going to be, I'm going to admit, going into it, okay, I'm engineering the math. I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm not saying the math is even untrue. But I'm saying all I'm going to do is go based on my theory, and they just make up the numbers, right? Because everybody just gets to do that. 1/3 of 1/3. There, 1/9. I can do that. Does that make me that's good science, huh? No, that's bullshit in my opinion.
You merely wanted me to be an observer while you got on your soapbox.
Oh, what a crock of shit. What a crock of goddamn motherfucking shit. I invited you to make an argument. Your argument was nitpick, nitpick, nitpick. Tell me what great argument you made in that fucking 20 minutes of conversation. Oh, that's right, none.
And not suffer any criticism. If now, it's up to you, and I was prepared to tolerate any dismissal of my criticisms. But what after 40 minutes, I wasn't prepared to do.
After 20 minutes, you didn't accept any dismissal. I said I don't care for Sapowski. You kept talking, and then you tell me, well, his history of history is his history, and his history is the real history. And I was basically saying, no, I don't give a fuck. His history is shit because I'm not even going to have an argument about it because I don't see how a rational scientist could have found anything wrong with punctuated equilibrium as an explanation for the substance of evolution on planet Earth. I don't even know how somebody could I don't even know what a rational argument would look like. The only thing I can understand is a religious argument, but I can't understand anything coming from a rational scientist saying that doesn't make sense because all it does is goddamn make sense. It has makes sense all over it. I can't find anything on it that says doesn't make sense. So if somebody has a theory that rational scientists couldn't understand punctuated evolution, then I'm saying they're pretty fucking bad scientists.
Is tolerate not even opportunity to finish.
Well, I'll say it again. I'll say it a goddamn again. How did I not finish? I acknowledged it was about Sampowski's opinion of the history of punctuated equilibrium, which I don't think is accurate. I think the history really starts with Gould. He's the one that popularized the subject. And frankly, the only people who were making arguing with Gould were fucking religious kooks. Okay, and the only scientists that were arguing with Gould were arguing with him because he was almost making it sound like he was rewriting evolution. I mean, he kind of sold the idea that I'm challenging Darwin. And so that was the only controversy, is whether he was unraveling Darwin by coming up with this competing theory, as if it was a competing theory. It wasn't a competing theory, it was just an augmentation of the theory of evolution to include a more elaborate mechanism. Just like Darwin didn't include genetics, Darwin didn't include social dynamics.
Many of what you perceive as criticisms were nothing more than on topic.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not on topic. I say, look, you're the one arguing that a theory has to have a big pile of math connected to it and a bunch of whatever academic supporters or something, and I'm saying no. The evidence is that brilliant theories have been thrown down the toilet for idiotic reasons, and I brought up Lesage, and the fact is that I gave you a perfectly reasonable example in the considering the rolling of the conversation. I probably could come up with other examples. Well, here's an example of a theory, punctuated equilibrium, that really didn't need anything to go with it. It said a lot by just giving it a beefier explanation. And I'm saying my theory says a lot, and when you're saying it's going to basically unify all the fields and throws in time dilation as a bonus. I mean, that's a pretty goddamn fucking functional theory.
Discussion of the topic. For example, in the end, you broached the idea of punctuated evolution, and therefore I spoke on the topic of punctuated evolution. So, yeah, you dismiss all criticisms too quickly.
I'm sorry, it's not a criticism, okay? It's just another nitpick. You're saying that somehow there isn't any theory because, okay, Spensowski says the history of punctuated equilibrium is that it wasn't intuitive. And I'm saying the theory that there aren't such things as intuitive, things that make sense on their face. Somebody comes up with an explanation, sometimes a theory of something, and you just say, holy shit, that says it all. All right, it doesn't need a big pile of evidence. Darwin's grandfather believed in evolution. He didn't need genetics. He didn't need Darwin to write his book. He didn't need Galapagos tortoises. He didn't need Galapagos beaks. He didn't need any of that shit, because he had looked around the world he lived in and he saw us manipulating creatures right now. He saw us doing evolution. He saw us doing human selection, and he thought natural selection already made sense. So, I mean, it's fuck. I'm just saying that some things, there's levels of need for evidence to be convinced of something. I'm not asking you to be convinced. Again, my argument is show me the brick wall I'm facing. I don't see a brick wall to my theory. I see no fact that's a brick wall, right? People just keep mentioning two-slit experiments and other crap, and as we've both pointed out, those things aren't exactly brick walls. Heisenberg is not a brick wall.
And if you want to face me, I'll hold you to a better explanation.
No, I mean, fuck you. You'll just waste my goddamn time. You'll waste my goddamn time. You're talking superficial with superficial crap like wood sheep or the photons. You'll waste my time with fucking bullshit details that maybe you want to work on them in 10 years from now. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. Okay, but they have nothing to do with me needing to prove my theory now. They have nothing to do with the fundamental radical change in perception that it entails. It has nothing to do with the important facts, which are the kinetic universe and the atomic metabolism. I have emphasized this terminology because these, to me, are the key elements of the goddamn theory. So I really don't give a fuck what shape the fucking photons are. I don't give a fuck about what you say a theory has to be. Fine, you're not convinced, I get that. You're also not throwing anything at me that means anything. You're throwing fucking poo. You're not throwing a goddamn functional, logical argument. Throw a logical argument at me, not this shit.
Dismissals. You can expect that.
I expect nothing. Like I said, I don't get nothing, all right? Again, if you want to speechify on the subject of physics, you got all the time in the world here in these videos, and you don't even do that. So your disinterest is obvious. Okay, you're not fucking interested. I get it, all right? I'm only turning to you because who else is there? There's nobody else to talk to, but guess what? If I could find somebody who could make a real argument, I'd grab it. Because I want a real fucking argument. Not fucking nitpicky shit.
Oh, that was it. What you can't do is justify the egregious non-regard with which you partake in a so-called social discussion of...
Well, whatever. To you, it's a social discussion. I don't know where you got the clue that I wanted to have a social discussion. I don't know where you got any evidence that Gary's at all interested in social fucking discussions. Where did you get that indication? Gary hates fucking social discussions. Gary wants to get the fuck out of here. And he has a certain thing, a little list of things to get done before he gets the fuck out of here. Alright? So that's all Gary's fucking goddamn interest in. He ain't interested in no fucking academic social conversation over nothing. He wants a conversation about the fact that 99.99% of the human race is a goddamn fucking idiot. Even these fucking physicists are full of shit. That's what he wants to talk about.
Physics, or whatever for that matter. In the end, when you say, right, go on, I'm sorry, you're not really saying you're sorry and you recognise, your transgressions. Because before you get...
Yeah, damn right I'm not. I made that as clear as I can make it. That's right. I'm just placating your whiny little bitch ass. And I'm saying, okay, well, whatever. Here, take your shots. And I'll do exactly the same thing I'm going to do anyway. I'll just do it in a bigger and more dramatic way than before. So go ahead. Fail. Even more catastrophe. Go ahead. I'll give you the opportunity to put your ballet dress on and humiliate yourself. So go ahead. You have the floor. Say some preposterous crap that I can unravel in like this, not even working.
That point, you defended, the necessity of interruption. That I'm not going to listen to you finish. If I know where you're going, I'm going to interrupt. But that's a lack of discipline. Yeah? Because, quite frankly,
No, you're not worth it, fuckhead. Again, if you were saying something that meant something to me, right? If you were giving me some sort of argument besides, well, what shape are photons? What do you mean this kinetic thing? What does kinetic mean? If you were giving me something real, all right, there was some kind of, I'd say, yeah, Hythloday's worth investing in. I'll go ahead and let him, sometimes his little Goldilocks stories go somewhere. But frankly, every fucking one of them is just a goddamn nitpick. Even on the subject of education, all you did was fucking nitpick along. Well, yeah, it sounds like it could work, but I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it could maybe possibly. Blah, 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 blah. It's all wishy-washy, mishy-mushy, nothing. It was absolutely goddamn nothing. You didn't advance my theory one bit. You didn't challenge my theory one bit. You just wishy-washied and mishy-mushied on it.
Don't know where I'm going. And it's a shame because, you know, we can talk at times, and I don't know why you was so defensive.
No, I'm sorry. I was not defensive. I was not. I didn't do anything in my, like I said, in my opinion, just rewatching it, I didn't see anything wrong here. You made your Spolsky point, I responded to it, which I say it's bullshit, and then somehow you wanted to talk about it for 5 more hours. And then somehow all of a sudden you're saying, you're not letting me finish, like I somehow needed to let you finish. I didn't need to let you finish. I knew where you were going. I responded to where you were going. I said it's a shitty place to go. You wouldn't acknowledge that, so fine. That's your problem, not my problem, in my opinion. I dealt with the completeness of your argument. I said it just couldn't fucking make any, it couldn't mean a damn thing to me whether you say Spinskowski says that it's not intuitive, because I made it as clear as possible. It's so fucking intuitive to me that I can't see how it's rationally possible for that to be true for scientists. I don't see how any biological scientist could possibly say punctuated equilibrium sounds like a pile of horse shit. It can't fucking happen.
I'm not going to pretend to agree with you where I don't.
Again, you really don't understand. I do not give a fuck about you agreeing with me. What I care about is not wasting my time arguing how thick my socks are or something. It's not on the subject as far as I can tell. The subject is there anything in physics that makes it impossible for gravity to be real, to have an actual physical material existence? Is it theoretically impossible somehow? Is it material, evidentially impossible somehow? No. Is it impossible that atoms have a metabolism, and that if you force them to have velocity, that their metabolism will slow down? Is that an impossible concept? Is that proven not to be possible? No. Fuck.
You might find disagreements petty, then you can have ample time to extrapolate it.
And I have. I have extrapolated, and I'm just done doing that, okay? There's only so much I can say. There's only so much of an explanation I can provide. If people don't get it, they don't get it. I've metaphored it to a school of fish. I said, think about the fish having a constant speed, and they're indestructible. So just change fish into some sort of steel thing that moves always at the same speed, and you'll get what I'm talking about.
On the reasons for those objections being petty. But if there are nits to pick, then there are answers to be answered. And if there are genuine nits to be picked,
well, again, I mean, I'm not even going to accept that premise that I should waste any time with nitpicks. Forget it. I'm not worried about the fucking little fur balls on the little, whatever you call those, little pills on the fucking shirt. I don't give a fuck. No, they're not. It's not my agenda. I'm neither the time, nor the patience, nor the will, nor any social interest in having conversations about goddamn nits on pick. Fuck it.
it cannot be dismissed, then you'd be wrong. Anyhow, I'm genuinely sorry it ended in acrimony.
Well, I'm I'm sorry that there's nothing that pleases you about anything, okay? I'm sorry that you're inconsolable on every fucking subject about ever saying anything definitive. So I'm sorry you can't be definitive. I'm sorry you can't be decisive. I'm sorry you can't be, get into the battle and say that can't happen for a reason and that's not... I'm sorry you don't got any of that because that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I need something real. Again, I need shield makers or I need goddamn people attacked. I need enemies or I need allies, but I just don't need the shit over there somewhere going blah 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 blah. That's of no use to me.
In retrospect, the criticisms I would offer are nothing more than you would admit in the and have admitted as your character flaws.
Well, you're way off the subject again. Again, as you just pointed out, I'm completely insincere in my admission of a character flaw because, yeah, I'm basically saying I'm doing it right and you fuckers are doing it wrong. But I'll concede the point that I'm not doing it the way you require it done. So, yes, as a political statement, I'm doing it wrong because I'm not acquiescing to political necessity. But I certainly still believe this is the way you're supposed to do it. And I'll continue to do it this way for that very reason, and that I don't think I'm drunk. I think you fuckers are drunk. You're the ones that need to go on the goddamn wagon. I'm doing just fine.
But, enough said. I'm sorry this is a slow and protracted video for the audience.
Yeah, I don't even mind that part. Like I said, is if there's something substantive and something real, and I understand, you're just kind of, right at this moment in your life, it's hard to be passionate about something and all that other crap because you're a little bit tired of it or whatever. You're a little bored with life or something. So fine, but I'm not. I have an agenda, and my agenda isn't just making shallow comment to the shit as it goes by the window. I'm not spectating here. I'm trying to get to the driver's seat. I'm in this game all the way. Up to my nuts.
Had a little to drink. Was unsure whether to make this video or not, but for the record, it's fun.
Okay, for the record, we have style incompatibilities. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's just ain't gonna work. And unfortunately, like I said, as part of this is like I said, it's my desperate. I wouldn't have run to Hythloday for conversation if I could get it someplace else. And it's frankly, it's a dead world I'm talking to, with dead ears and dead brains. And as I've stated before, at least you seem sometimes to be you have a bit of this curiosity about what the truth is. And so that's a redeeming feature about you that I find somewhat endearing. And unfortunately, though, there's just not enough of that in you. There's just not enough spark of that shit to do me any good. So, and I'm sorry I have a purpose. I'm sorry I have an agenda, but I goddamn do. And my agenda isn't make friends on the internet. My agenda is fucking say shit that fucks people's minds. Anyway, till next time, and such.